Good evening. We are coming on the air with breaking news. A shooting at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island, leaving at least 2 people dead, according to officials there. Police say the shooter is not in custody at this time. Officials just gave an update in the last couple of minutes. Here's some of what they had to say.
There is a shelter in place in effect for the greater Brown University area. If you live on or near Brown's campus, we are encouraging you to stay home and stay inside.
I want to bring in national law enforcement and intelligence correspondent Tom Winter, who is on the phone with us this evening and following the very latest. So, Tom, 2 people lost their lives and there are 8 in critical?
That's correct, Jose. This investigation being led by the Providence Police Department, which is where Brown University is located. The Rhode Island State Police SWAT units are on the scene, and the FBI has spent its evidence response team as well as its victim coordinators. Those will be the individuals who will try to talk to some of the victims, those that have been hospitalized, as you referenced. It provides comfort to them, as well as to try to get information to help with this investigation, which at this point doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of leads at this hour, as they're looking for a person who was dressed in all black. That was the initial description that officers provided over the radio when this incident first occurred, and then shortly after entering the building, according to those radio transmissions, they were able to see victims nearly right away and were trying to evacuate them, the ones that could walk, on foot and out of the building. This apparent incident where it occurred, there were exams that were going on at that time, there were students that were studying, so obviously a frightening evening and afternoon. So far, police have not been able to locate the gun that was used in this incident, so they're still looking for that. And according to video that we've seen from eyewitnesses, they're currently canvassing the entire campus area, as well as the rooftops, the stairwells, all the types of things that you would imagine they would be looking for, given the fact that they've got somebody who's responsible for shooting at least 10 people, 2 of them fatally, and they need to try to find who that person is. So, given the size of Rhode Island, that it is the smallest state in the union, they were able to call in ambulance companies from 30 to 40 minutes outside of Providence. It's a coordinated response in order to leverage the small state's resources to be able to help as many victims as possible and get people to the hospital. According to the mayor, Brett Smiley, in Providence, apparently all 8 of those that have been critically injured are stable. So that's some good news, at least as far as those 8 people go, as far as their injuries going further. There's a trauma team, there's a trauma hospital, I should say, about 10 minutes away by ambulance or less from Brown University. So that is at least some hopeful news for them that they're going to be ultimately okay. As far as motive on the investigation, just too soon to say. There's no hard information on that. There's no suspect name that's circulating at this hour among law enforcement. And so it's a bit of a question as to who this person is. The other piece of information, it was asked at the press conference of officials in Providence, is to whether or not somebody would need some sort of an access card or a badge or ID to get into that building. They said yes, but given the fact that things were so busy, students would be coming in and out. It's possible this person was just able to get through. So a lot of questions here tonight, a lot of police work that needs to be done. Police are hoping that anybody that has video or images or anything of this incident in the greater Providence area contacts the Providence Police Department, because obviously they're looking to get any better description and perhaps a photo or some sort of identification of this person out to the public, Jose.
And so, Tom, so many questions still unanswered, as you say, but it is surprising, I guess, to some that on a Saturday afternoon there would be a busy area within this university. But as you were saying, there were students participating in exams?
That's right. Preparing for exams, according to officials there were some exams that were taking place in that building. You can imagine a school like Brown University, the Saturday before exam weeks, that there would be a lot of students in these study areas working together either in groups or their own independent study to prepare for those exams. So this building definitely had some people inside of it, and it was also just a busy day in Providence. There was a college basketball game that was being let out at the same time. So a lot of activity in that area. For folks that aren't familiar with Brown University's campus, a lot of the campus kind of takes place within the city. It's not just all inside of some sort of a gated perimeter. So the area near where this happened is a street called Fair Street, and that has people that are both in the Brown community, but just Rhode Island and southeastern New England residents at large who would be on that street and would be going to various shops and restaurants and bars. So this is a pretty popular place, and obviously a concern for law enforcement as soon as those shots ring out.
And Tom, as we're coming up to 7:39 p.m. Eastern time, we're talking about, what, three and a half hours since this incident was first reported. And at this hour, Tom, the suspect still at large.
That's right. At this hour, the suspect still at large. The best description that law enforcement has so far is they believe the individual was dressed in all black. But they don't have any other further descriptions as far as height or weight or any other sort of physical characteristics that could be helpful. Certainly that speaks then to the type of detective work that's going on now. One, going from building to building, place to place to see if they see anybody. But the second thing is, given how prevalent, as we all know, various household cameras are, cameras of businesses, are they able to track this person? And we've seen this used with a lot of success just in the last 9 months, last year rather. Look at the case of the suspected United Healthcare CEO shooter. That's Luigi Mangione. He's the alleged murderer in that case. Police were able in New York City to track him from point A to point B to be able to see where this person went. Eventually, we're able to get a photograph of this person's face. We saw a similar type of video canvas occur that was helpful to law enforcement in the shooting, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So that's really the work that needs to be done now, is take it from the moment the shooting happens. Are there any cameras that would have focused on somebody leaving that building? And then where did they go next? Where did they go next in the neighborhoods? It's a pretty densely populated and packed neighborhood. So it wouldn't be surprising to me if they're able to identify the person to be able to start to track him as he moved or left the area. They did describe the shooter as a male, so that's the only other characteristic we have at this time, Jose.
And as of this hour, Tom, we don't have any indication from authorities whether this person used a handgun or a rifle of some sort.
That's right. The Providence police were specifically asked about that this evening, and they say that it was just a firearm is all that they have at this stage. They'll obviously need to collect the ballistics, but they do not have, and they were not able to recover, at least so far as of this report, the specific firearm that was used in the incident.
And Tom, is there any indication, or do police believe that this person is still in the vicinity of that building?
So that's a big question. They were asked about that at the press conference. Between the state police and the Providence police, they'd have enough to set up a perimeter. But right now, it's just too soon to say. Anybody who did this, who would have access to a vehicle, could potentially be on an interstate, either 195, which transverses east to west into Massachusetts, or 95, which of course goes all the way from Maine to the tip of Florida. They would be able to get on that in fairly short order as well as a number of other kind of highways, both state and federal, pretty close by. So is somebody who grew up in Rhode Island and born in Rhode Island. One of the things that makes Providence great is that it's easy to get to from a lot of different locations. That could potentially be an actual challenge for police as this investigation continues.
Tom Winter with the very latest. I thank you very much. Really appreciate it. The president also just commented on this while on his way back to the White House this evening. Let's hear some of what he had to say.
Well, I've been fully briefed on the Brown University situation, what a terrible thing it is. And all we can do right now is pray for the victims and for those that were very badly hurt, it looks like. And we'll inform you later as to what's happening, but it's a shame. It's a shame. Just pray. Thank you very much.
I want to bring in NBC News White House correspondent Yamiche Alcindor. Yamiche, at the White House there, any further comment from the president or officials at the White House as to what is going on right now in Providence?
was you saw the president there playing the role of consoler-in-chief and commander-in-chief. From what I understand in talking to White House officials, the president, of course, is going to continue to ask for prayers as these victims fight for their lives in some cases. But the president has also sent down federal resources, so the FBI, the ATF, a number of federal law enforcement agencies trying to help in this investigation. Another remarkable piece of information that happened today, the president was posting about this shooting, again asking for prayers, but also saying that the suspect was in custody. But he was getting that information from local authorities in Rhode Island. He then reversed himself. It really, in some ways, just underscores the confusion and chaos that is happening and continues to happen here as this tragedy really unfolds. The other thing to note here is that the White House is continuing to say that they're going to keep the public informed about what is happening on the ground there. But we already have been hearing from gun right activists, people that are pushing for gun law changes, though of course we don't know the details of how this shooting really unfolded, how the gun was purchased, all of these different things. That being said, already there's an advocacy group called Every Town for America for gun safety. They're saying that if we don't take action as a nation, that we're going to bury more kids and there's going to be more tragedies. You can expect that Democrats, some of the opponents of President Trump, are going to be taking that same sort of tact. But the president has really pushed back on that and said that gun laws really don't need to be changed in this country and that there are other things that need to happen in order to prevent gun tragedies like this. But overall, the White House is just monitoring this very closely. No other statements from President Trump at this time, though, Jose.
Yeah, Michelle Sandor at the White House. I thank you very much. And that concludes this NBC News special report. We will have more coverage of this story online at NBCnews.com.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.